Hey, there's Sue. Hi, Sue. Gonna wait a little bit. Hey, there's Sue. Hi, Sue. Gonna wait a little bit so can see if other people show up. Sorry about the shadows. I have a kind of a bad lighting situation. But that will be remedied very soon. So, yay! Anyway. Apparently my title didn't come through very well. It's supposed to say, can you handle the pressure? But hey, let's see if I can edit that. Edit. No. Whoops. The pressure. Whoops. Pressure. Go. Alrighty. Let's see what happens. Still working on all of the technical stuff with this. And I think it worked. Can you handle the pressure? Hey there, Beth Ann. Hi. It's good to see you here. Got to increase my magnification because I'm old. There we go. On my laptop so I can read the chat. Yes, the necklace. I was kind of going to wait until a few other people came in because I kind of wanted to introduce you guys to some of the stuff that I do and that I sell in my online store. I do beading and I do wire work, but this is one of the beaded, I call them pagan rosaries. And they're pagan because they are different than the regular rosaries. They have a different number of beads, and there are reasons for those. But just for a basic rundown, this one is made out of what I call blood spatter beads. And yeah, I'm kind of a creepy girl, but I don't know if you can see that. The beads they have kind of a sparkly sheen to them, and they look kind of like they're splattered with black and red. So they're kind of cool. I mean, I found them and I was just like, yahoo! But they're ceramic with paint, and they're quite heavy. So the necklace feels substantial, and it's quite long. It's as long as a rosary is, you know. The black beads are rainbow obsidian or sheen obsidian, and they have some obsidian, like a silvery layer to them. Really cool. And then the pendant is a really neat little guy with a star on it. And it opens, and instead of just having it carry nothing, I've put in here a quartz crystal, a smoky crystal, and a citrine. And the idea behind this is because you can channel energy through these, and the citrine is a natural cleanser. So even if you wear these all of the time, the citrine crystal will cleanse the other crystals. So we've got that, and they fit all in there like that. You kind of have to maybe shake it around a little bit to get the lid to close okay, but it closes, and then there you go. See? And this is made of pewter, and you can find these all in my shop. My shop is online, and I'm blurry a little bit, so I'm going to try and make this focus. There we go. My shop online is redravenscauldron.com. And let me see if I can write that out for you guys. So it's Red Ravens Cauldron.com. And of course over here is the HTTPS, and then the little guys like that. So and there you have it. Okay, so what I'm going to do today is I thought I would, the name of my video today is Can You Handle the Pressure? I hear a lot of people talking about how, I'm going to take some of that paper out of there, talking about how they're heavy-handed, how they're having trouble blending, and how sometimes, you know, you can't get the blend that you want with colored pencils because the heavy-handedness is a factor in it, and it kind of stands in the way. Let me see, who else do I got here? Vicky! Hi, Vicky! Excellent! Good to see you. Vicky probably already knows all about this part. But anyway, what you'll need is you'll need just scrap paper and then a regular pencil. I have a 2B pencil. You can use a regular writing pencil, like one of those yellow Ticonderoga school pencils, and or any other kind of regular pencil. But make sure that it's sharpened to, you want to make sure that it's sharpened to kind of a nice point. And if you don't have a sharpener, you can always use a knife, and then just kind of, you know, like that, and give yourself a nice little point on that pencil. So what I want to do is show you that you don't have to have so much trouble blending, and it takes a little bit of practice. When I first started out, no one showed me this, but I kind of did practice drills myself. So you need just a scrap piece of paper, and this is just regular old, I mean, it's barely thicker. It came out of a sketchbook, but it's barely thicker than copy paper. Oh yeah, you know what? Before I go on, I wanted to let you guys know I'm going to be live streaming for the Victorian Colorathon. Vicky reminded me being here, so. And this is all written down in my Creative Companion 2019 Organizer and Coloring Art Journal. This is from Ruby Charm Colors. You can find them on Amazon. I'll post a link. Oh, for heaven's sake, it's blurry. There we go. I'll post a link in the video description when I'm done with the video, and you guys can look for one yourself. Or you might be able to find one in the Ruby Charm Colors Etsy store, and if you just search Ruby Charm Colors, or Susan Carlson, she is the woman who does all the artwork for Ruby Charm Colors. It's her store. Anyway, this book is really, really cool. You got highlights for per month, little things that you can color, and I've got little tabs where I've got all of the different swatch charts for the pencils I have. Not a whole lot of them, but that's okay. Anyway, September, back to September. I will be streaming for 2 hours on September 20th from 8 to 10 p.m. and September 21st from 7 to 9 p.m. That's Pacific time. I'm in Arizona. And then for the Spooktober, which I'm super excited about, on the 26th of October, that's the Saturday, I'm going to be streaming from 7 to 9. And I don't have my pictures picked out yet. I've got kind of a quandary because I'm torn between two pictures for the Victorian Colorathon, and I want to do steampunk and not necessarily Victorian, just because I love steampunk. And anyway, so I'm going to pick those, and I'll post them in my Instagram. Let's see. Hey, Tom. I'm sorry, Tony. My glasses are blurry. Hey, Tony. Nice to see you. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for showing up. Okay, anyway, so here's what we've got. We've got our paper and our pencil. And to practice, it's really, really easy, but it may take you a little while to master this, because it does quite depend on, you know, how you're holding your pencil and how much pressure you're putting on it. Now the pressure can be changed, everyone knows this, I'm sure, by holding it to the end of the pencil. You can hold it to the end of the pencil and get yourself a nice light gradient like this. And that is a great way to start with any color, skin tone, etc. However, you can't get a much heavier tone except for with layers, and layers are very, very important with a lot of things, especially colored pencils and oil colors and watercolors. A lot of the time acrylic, I tend to layer with acrylic with thin layers, watered down with 25 to 35% water, and that's a rough guess. So there you are. But yeah, so you can do that by holding on to the end of the pencil. Now the real test is when you've got it, you know, like you're holding it when you're writing. Now, so you can start light like this, and I suggest moving your whole arm. This will also lessen the pressure on your hand. So you start with this pressure like this, and then you get a little heavier. Your gradient gets darker, a little heavier, your gradient gets darker, darker, and I don't care if it gets shiny at the end. If your lead breaks, you keep going, keep going. Got that dark, dark gradient, push harder, 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 harder. Got a nice dark gradient. And then you can change your, if you need to, you can always change your orientation on your pencil. Push harder, harder, harder. See that? There you go. Now you've got this whole range of color, if you're using a colored pencil, from light to dark. So you've created a gradient. Now technically these are, you can look at these as different colors. Light gray, dark gray. Or if you're using a colored pencil, you can go light green, darker green, and this is the same thing you're doing when you're swatching. Darker green, dark, dark green, like this. I recommend doing it with your graphite pencil or just writing pencil, drawing pencil, because these cost a heck of a lot more, you know what I mean? So what you want to do is you want to try and create this gradient. Now, another thing that you can do, and this is really helpful too, is you can start dark, and then as you go, lessen your pressure. Lessen your pressure, less pressure. Go lighter, 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 lighter until you can barely see it. And then come back. Darker again, heavier, heavier, like this. And if you just grab a bunch of paper and you grab, you know, your writing pencil and you just keep practicing this gradient, pretty soon it's going to come so easy that you're going to be able to have a professional layered picture, whether you're using graphite, colored pencil, or ballpoint pen, or gel ink pen, or whatever you're using, because you can create, you're gonna be training your hand to do what your brain is telling it to do. Your brain is saying, I need you to go heavy, you go lighter, heavy, 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 heavy. Create a shadow for me, shadow. Now, a lot of people will say, okay, you put a line here. It's a line. Here's a house. Okay, house. You got your house, right? Oh, let's put that a little better. There we go. Got your little house thingy here going. Okay. Now you've got all these lines. Okay, let's say that that's like a little door. There's a lintel, there's a step. Here's a little window. Okay, look at this. Check this out. And when somebody told me this, I was like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. Mind blown. Okay. So, and I doodle a lot, so pardon my continuance on this little picture here. But anyway, let's see, who else do we have? Nick and Tina! Hey, Nick and Tina! Good to see ya! Yep, Vicky, you're right. Go back and forth. Light, dark, light, light, and then, you know, just do this. Anyway, continuing with this part, what I was getting at here, this is something that somebody never told me until I was in college. There are no lines. This does not have any lines. These are simply shadows. They're skinny, thin shadows. Little itty bitty shadows that don't take up much room. There are no lines in this picture. And when you think about it that way, tell me if that doesn't open up a whole new avenue of, oh my God, that makes so much sense for you too. I mean, it did for me. I was just like, way cool. So anyway, I was in Top Chat. I admit it. I was having a Top Chat party, as Emily would say. Hi, Emily, if you're there. Anyway, okay, so when you're drawing, you've got probably, these are going to be somewhere around this gradient. Dark to medium light. Not light, because of course you barely see them. And a lot of the time too, when you're drawing something like this, you're going to draw something and, oh, let's say there's a little teeny tiny house here. Okay, a little teeny tiny house. Let's put you in perspective here. Okay, but, oh my gosh, there's part of it missing. Okay, but you know what? That could be a part that the sun is shining off so brightly that you just don't see it. Now, when you're drawing like that, shadow, 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 and then nothing between here and here, maybe up here to give a suggestion, and then nothing here. But your eye and your brain is going to say, oh yeah, there's something there. There has to be, logically, right? But you may not see it because the sun's shining off of it. And that's a good way to add interest to your picture, because your mind is going to be working instead of having it all handed to you, such as this one is, shadow, shadow, shadow. Oh, look, it's logical. Everything's right there, you know. So you've got all this stuff that your eye is taking in. But here, you might not. You might just have a blank spot that says, that's really bright, and your eye can't register. But it's there, obviously. So remember that too. Even with color, you can do that with color. You can leave a line out, and just for interest, you can say, hey, I'm not going to put anything there, but the mind is going to, and the eye is going to say it's there, because logically it's there. So you're adding interest, and you're adding features that any artist would put in their pictures to create an illusion, which is all a drawing is. It's an illusion created in a two-dimensional form to make your eye, fool your eye into thinking it's seeing a three-dimensional form. So you have it. There you have it, the pressure. And, you know, you can do it large. I just like doing this. This is fun. And then as you get to the lighter spot, lighter spot, lighter spot, stop, leave a blank spot. And then come back. Come back. Pressure, pressure, pressure. And keep practicing. Just keep practicing on that. I mean, you got a napkin at a restaurant and a ballpoint pen. Practice, you know? I've got the edge of my paper below, causing a pattern here. Which is another thing that could come in useful too. See that line? See how it's following it's like dotted. Kind of the same thing as you know, creating texture, and you can so do that. I mean, for colored pencil, for graphite pencil, creating a texture underneath from underneath your picture isn't that difficult to do. For example, you've got this card. See that? Look at how straight that line is. Oh my, I've got the beginnings of another house. A little plant right here. A little shadow. So you can use all kinds of tricks. This is good for colored pencil as well, because I mean, look how easy it is. And the pressure matters here too. If you're pressing really hard, you're going to get a nice deep black line. If you're pressing not so hard, not such a deep black line and harder to define. But you can always take your pencil, give it a suggestion. It can be a guideline. It can be something where you say, oh, that's where I want my line, so I'm going to put in a suggestion of that and then just follow through freehand. So, you know, you can use all kinds of little tricks and things. Oh man, I'm trying to keep up with chat, guys. Woohoo! Let's see, what do I got? Hey, JoBeth, if you need a mod, I am here for you. Oh, thank you, Nick and Tina. I don't think there's enough people, but I can make you a mod. Let's see. I'll make you a mod. Thank you. Nick and Tina, yep, you are now a mod. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. That's super cool of you. Okay, so another thing that I wanted to show you is where I've been using some of this pressure is I have this is a picture of a photograph that I took, and I just converted it to grayscale, and it's a work in progress, of course. And my color's a little bit off. These leaves are really very bright green, but I've been using the pressure technique for, say, this leaf, which is done, but I mean, I can show you the pressure back here, much heavier. And then as I come down, it's lighter and it's blendable, because y'all know when you're putting a lot of pressure on the paper, it flattens the tooth, and once the tooth is flattened, the color won't, you can't get any more layers out of your color. Now, another thing, and y'all know this too, when you still have tooth, you can blend much easier. So just a couple things to look at. And I don't know, what do you guys think? I'm thinking about, I have a whole bunch of graphite drawings, pencil drawings, and photographs that I can convert into grayscale. Would you guys be interested in maybe freebies to color? I'm not planning on selling them anytime soon, but I mean, they might be good for practice, especially with you know, you guys, people practicing their pressure and their color blending and all of that kind of thing. You can print them up on whatever you want to print them up. So what do you guys think? You think I should maybe make some of these available as soon as I figure it out? Yes, Tina, Nick and Tina says yes. Vicky says yes. Cool. Awesomeness. Yeah, you know, it's a lot of fun. I've got a lot of pictures that I've taken that I could convert, like florals and bugs and birds and etc. I've got a few of some lovebirds that were in our front yard a couple months ago. Turned out really well. I just happened to have my camera out there, and they were perched up in the tree. And one of them is, I put it on Facebook. It looks like it's kind of turning its head like it's listening to me or looking at me. It's really cute. Hold on a sec, I gotta get a drink of water. So, this is my very, very first live stream, and I really wanted to say thank you guys for the thumbs up. Thank you for that. I appreciate that so, so much. And for being here, and I don't intend to stop yet. I was going to go for maybe half an hour. And what I wanted to know was, you guys have any questions? First of all, let me give you a little bit of background. I've been into art since I was like 3 years old. My mother was an artist, and my first venture into oil painting was when I was about a year old. My mom was painting an 18 by 24 oil painting, and my sister was... Hi, Mary! Flowers to you, lady. Flowers, flowers. Anyway, my sister, I was about 14 months old, and my sister was just born. She's my little sister. She's the littlest of the family. I'm the seventh child of a seventh child. Don't let that fool you. I'm not really that special. But baby starts crying. Mom's in the middle of an oil painting. So mom goes running back to the baby to, take care of the baby, because the baby's like, I don't know, a couple weeks old. I'm left in the room with an oil painting, and wow, I'm sure that my little brain was like, look at that, look at those beautiful colors, they look so fun. So I went and finger painted in my mom's oil painting, and let me tell you something, I don't remember it, but I'm sure she was upset, because I would have been. Anyway, I now own that oil painting, and you can see the little finger streaks in it from where I oil painted and my mom tried to cover it up. So technically, I've been oil painting since I was like 1 year old, if you count finger painting. Anyway, oh, hey, Nick and Tina, you know what? I am so looking forward to the Spooktober thing. I am really, really excited. I'm a kind of a creepy girl, so my picture may be a little bit creepy. I'm hoping I don't scare people away. I'm just kidding. Anyway, so from there, my mom made sure that I had all kinds of art supplies, crayons, colored pencils. I used to have this huge, it was like a twin sheet size plastic coloring sheet with all kinds of little pictures on it. And they don't make these anymore, I don't think, but you could color on them with crayons and then wipe it off. And I colored on that thing so many times for so many years that it had stretch marks in it from where I would push too hard with the crayons on carpet and stuff like that. But so I consider that artist in training stuff. And I was so little, but hey, you know what? You got to start somewhere. So from there, I just continued to, play around with art stuff. When I was in grade school, I was in art contests. When I was in high school, I won awards. And then when I was in college, I started oil painting in earnest. And from my very first oil painting, which one of these days I'm going to show you online, I'll show you my very first oil painting. I just kind of jumped in with both feet. And I ended up selling a painting to the college up north in Show Low, Northland Pioneer College. And they still have the painting. It's called In That Fleeting Moment. It's in my DeviantArt gallery, and you kind of have to have an account to look at it because I've got it marked as sensitive because it's got some nudity in it, but it's not like blatant. And anyway, they've got that in the student government office right now, and I couldn't be happier or prouder. And wow, But I've had a one woman art show up in Show Low. I've sold multiple oil paintings, drawings, watercolors. I even sold a sculpture. I sold my first unicorn head sculpture when I was a sophomore in high school. So art is not a foreign thing to me. I actually did teach art too at Northland Pioneer College for about 4 semesters. I stopped teaching because I had to move. But that was super fun. I taught, I want to call it art theory, but it was something that started out as one thing and turned into art studio, because what I really wanted to do was teach people how to create their own art, because I don't believe that anyone is incapable of creating something, and be it crocheted goods, a delicious lobster thermidor with all the trimmings that looks too good to eat, or an abstract painting with gold leaf or whatever it might be. You're creating. You're an artist in that form. And that was my philosophy, and that's what I taught in my class. I'm very proud. Oh, thank you, Nick and Tina. Oh, thank you, Vicky. You guys proud of me, really? Oh, golly. You're going to make me blush. Huh. Okay. So, if you guys have any suggestions, send me a note or something. I'm planning on also trying to participate in Inktober. I know there are prompts and stuff like that. And if I do participate in Inktober, I'll at least post my ink drawings, whatever they might be, on Instagram. They might be something as simple as, let's see, a little house or something like that. But I really want to do it. I really need to get involved in art more. I miss it. When I was in college, I was involved in art so much. I love you too, guys. I love you too, Nick and Tina. You guys are so sweet. I don't know what I'd do without this community. Since I've joined this community, you guys have been so wonderful in including me and making me feel welcome, and just all of that. Oh, and I wanted to show you something else. I was playing around with watercolors on cold press paper, and this is cold press rag paper, so it's extremely thick, but I've got this little abstract painting that I did. Now, I did this with watercolors, and I did it with I have this really nifty sorry about the camera. This really nifty little art palette. It's from etcherlab.com. That's the nifty little art palette. It comes in a little tin, and it's designed by Stephanie Law. Stephanie Law, who does the Shadowscapes tarot deck and the Shadowscapes pictures. She's super cool. She's on Facebook. She's on sorry about the glare. Instagram, everywhere. And she's got her own little Patreon, all that, if you guys want to take a look at that. But anyway, Stephanie Law, she's at shadowscapes.com. Anyway, this etcherlab.com, and it's a little tiny travel palette. Now, this is where I keep my watercolor paintings, or my watercolor paints that I use. And these are all of the colors. It may look like a mess, but it's got everything. It's even got neutral tint. It's got something sparkly. It's called Amethyst Genuine from Daniel Smith, and it's got sparkly stuff in it. It's really neat. And this is the palette. This is the colors. You just fill these little wells. If I remember right, there's 32 of them. So you've got 32 wells of color. Now, I don't know if you guys are familiar. Watercolor paints go a really, really long way. So a little well of this color is going to last quite a long time. So we've got that. And then between there, we've got little soft pieces. And then this is a mixing palette with wells. And then another little soft piece, so you don't, it doesn't clack around in there. But this is the awesomest thing. It can fit in your purse. It can fit in your travel plein air case. Oh, let's put that in there. Oops, sweet. Just throw stuff around here. Pretty cool, huh? It's my live stream. I can throw it if I want to. Anyway, and a great thing that you can use here. You know how everybody has colored pencils, and a lot of people put them in cases? Well, I put mine, my husband got me this. This is a really cool little Prismacolor Under the Sea set. Because we had colors, I had colors that I needed that I couldn't find anywhere else, unfortunately. But anyway, so I use these because they've got a lip on them. I put a paper towel in there, and my palette, I put a paper towel, and in this one too, and then a jar of water. And if I drop water somewhere, if it spills a little bit, this will catch a lot of it. So, life hack, reuse. It's a good green thing to do. So anyway, back to my painting. This painting is on really heavy cold press rag. It's like 100% cotton paper, and man, is it hard to work with. But look at that gorgeous, the granulation and the bleed of the colors. Now these, I started with the colors from the palette, and then I kind of let it dry for a couple of days, and then I took it back out and I used Tombow, the double-ended brush pens, and oh wow, those colors are so bright. These little splotches where these colors are really, really bright. What I did was I wet the paper first, and then I went in with my Tombow and I just let it bleed, and then I went in with some more water after I put the pigment on the paper, and it made these gorgeous little shapes. So that one's like an abstract. I'm not even sure what I'm going to call it, but hey, it's frameable. The paper did pill a little bit, but you know, I look at that and I go, I don't care. I use, and this is what I've always done, I use my mistakes in my paintings and drawings, and I create something with them. So it's what I've done in my oil paintings. If you guys look at my gallery or my video, my YouTube video with my oil paintings in them, a lot of the detail work in those things is mistakes that I've just created something out of. It's just kind of like a stream of consciousness thing, and it makes me happy. But anybody can do it. I mean, really, anybody can do it. You just have to let yourself kind of go like you do with watercolor paints. I'm going to catch up on chat here. Oh, thank you, Sue. Thank you. It's okay, Vicky. Thank you for coming by, Vicky. I appreciate it so, so much. Kisses to you, too. Okay, let's see. What else? Got this in the mail. Yeah, I did it. Anyway, it's a pretty small book, but, and I'm not going to do my Spooktober picture out of this because the detail is so small. I'd have to use markers, and I don't really like to use markers, even though they are, you know, fast and all that. But it's got a lot of really cute pictures in it, and I'm not going to do a flip through either because, well, this one's just too cool for words. Reminds me of that movie Oculus with the big huge mirror where people don't know that they're being possessed, and they end up killing each other, except for the one kid who is locked up in the insane asylum while he was young, and then he comes out and he's like supposed to be healed and all that. Anyway, the movie's called Oculus, and his sister is totally obsessed with trying to figure out the spirit in the mirror and basically eliminate it. So anyway, yep, Cerberus, the three-headed dog that guards the gates of Hades. I'm a geek. I'm a mythology geek. I like all kinds of crazy stuff like that. Anyway, so that just came out. Alan Robert, The Beauty of Horror, Tricks and Treats. Highly recommend. Really cool. Okay, so what else do I have here? I don't really have anything else. Oh, I do have something else, and I showed this on my how to make a paper box out of the 12 by 12 scrapbooking paper. You guys saw this on Instagram. Now, what I did with this was I used some acrylic nail jewels that everybody, I'm sure you know about. You know, you see them in the ladies with the fingernails that are done. I don't do my nails because my nails don't take false nails very well. It's just, they don't. It's crazy. So anyway, if I can get this to focus on real close, I don't know if I can, but if you can see it, I've added nail jewels, acrylic nail jewels, to her face because I figured, well, why not? They're tiny, and she's got all these little piercings, and I thought it looked really cool. But people are using, you know, dots with gel pens and stuff all the time, and I get the advantage of that because it's flat. But if you don't mind using something that's a little like dimensional, it's kind of neat. And the nail, if you look on my video, how to make a paper box out of a 12 by 12 piece of scrapbook paper, there's a link there that will take you to the nail kit that I got for this. It's like 10 bucks. But there's other things in it that you can use too. It's really, really cool. Hey, JoBeth, you can keep on for mod, huh? What do you mean, Nick and Tina? You can keep on for mod? You mean you want to stay on for mod? Or do you mean that... Okay. Okay, so, does anyone have any suggestions? Something that they would like to see me do? Okay, Nick and Tina. Thank you, Sue. I love doing that picture. It was really heavy on the grayscale, but it was really fun to do. It was kind of challenging, and I love to challenge myself, so it was perfect. So okay, yeah, if you guys have any suggestions about stuff that you want to do, like I can't beat Laura's stuff. Laura is at Laura Colors too. Totally awesome, and I catch her streams whenever I can because I always learn something when she's streaming. But her and I wouldn't be doing the same stuff, so it's not a conflict. And I am so glad that that is true because I don't want her to stop what she's doing. She is so good for this coloring community. And I knew that the moment I met her online. I was just like, oh man, this girl is really cool. Anyway, so if y'all have any suggestions about, you know, what you'd want to see me do, I do have some stuff planned. I have, because of my art background, I have a lot of art hacks and art tips and tricks and things like that that I can show you guys. And I have jewelry making tips and tutorials set up to go. I have a list of things that I want to do. So I don't have a shortage of things to do, but I would like to do things that an audience wants to see, because of course, I mean, if I'm doing something that no one's interested in, what good is that? So throw suggestions my way, send me a note, whatever you want to do, pass the word around. This is just streaming impromptu because I really needed to get online and stream and make sure that everything was going to work all right for the Victorian Streamathon and the Spooktober Streamathon, Colorathon, sorry. And apparently it's going to work really well. So, let's see. Okay. Okay, and one more time. I don't know, Nick and Tina, I don't know if you guys saw this, but I make jewelry, and this is what I call a pagan rosary. And I put this together myself. It's very long. Beads are heavy ceramic, and I call them blood spatter beads, perfect for Halloween. And it's like ceramic with, it's black with red and sparkle glitter stuff. Oh, here comes a puppy and a husband. Hey, husband.
Hello.
Hello. And little Celtic details. I don't know if you guys can see that. And then there's this is obsidian, and it's sheen obsidian, and so there's like this really cool silvery sheen in there. It's a natural part of the stone, and especially in sunlight, it looks absolutely amazing. It doesn't have a clasp because it's super, super long. It just goes on over your head. The connector is a piece that wasn't a connector, but I modified it to make it a connector. So you've got that, and then it comes down to the crystal and citrine. Now these can be charged with energy, and or you can just say, you know what, I've got really pretty rocks in this little container here. Either way, it's cool. But the citrine is a natural cleanser. It'll not only cleanse these other stones, but it will cleanse you. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to make sure that I got a citrine in there. And I had to search for a little bit through my little stock to find a citrine and other two stones that would fit in there well enough that it would still shut. And this is made out of fine pewter. So, woo! May! Hi, May! Good to see you, lady! And Tony, hello, good afternoon. It's afternoon here anyway. I'm in Arizona. So hello. We were talking about uh, pencil pressure, about how to hold your pencil and how to create pressure. I can go over it again if you guys would like me to, or we can just continue to talk. Kind of giving a little bit of background about me and my education and stuff like that. And I love doing this already. I know this is my first stream, but wow, this is fun. Okay, and I was also asking if people would be interested in this picture. This is a work in progress picture. This is a photograph that I took in my backyard that I just converted to grayscale. And I was wondering if you guys would be interested in in getting things like this for me. I'm not interested in selling them right now. It would just be like something you guys could practice on. Grayscale is sometimes kind of difficult, and this is so light I'm having trouble with it, and I could darken it, but it's fun, you know. So I see I got let's see, someone's, yes, Nick and Tina says yes. Just continue, we will watch it back. Okay, May, got it. So anyway, I have a lot of pencil drawings, graphite drawings that would lend themselves well to this kind of a thing, to coloring like this, turning into grayscale and coloring. Some of them have backgrounds, some of them don't. Some of them are just like standalone shapes or people figures, great for skin tone practice, etc. And I'm somewhat of a surrealist, so some of them are not like something that you would see in the real world. However, I enjoy doing them, and you might enjoy coloring them. So I'm going to figure out how to make files, PDFs, and JPEG that I can send to people. So that's going to be in the future if y'all are interested. Apparently, some of you are. But pass the word along. And all I ask is that, you know, same as with everybody else, you don't sell them. You don't redistribute them online or anywhere else uncolored. If you're going to show them uncolored, throw a couple pencils on there. Make sure, you know, make it difficult for somebody to copy it from a picture. I've had things stolen from me multiple times, and unfortunately one of the people was my brother, who downloaded one of my pictures from my DeviantArt gallery and printed it up and hung it on his wall. And I was like, dude, you just took money out of my mouth. You just took money out of my bank account. That's my picture. And he was just like, yeah, well, and he doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. Maybe he doesn't think art is a legitimate form of monetary, you know, income. I don't know. He just, I don't even know how to phrase that. It just upset me so much. Anyway, so let's see. Just continue. Huh? Okay. So let's see. I guess we could color a little bit. What I've done here is I've gone around and done a little bit of outlines with the appropriate colors because I was having trouble seeing it myself. So, and then what I'm doing is I'm light pressure with my darkest green that I'm using. Oh, I need to sharpen my pencil. And I've got this cute little story behind this box. This is a heavy metal little jewelry box with no lid. For Easter, I have been recovering from surgery for about 1.5 years. I've recently had a surgery in June, and I feel better than I did after the first surgery. This was my, I don't know, 4th surgery or 5th, something like that. Anyway, this lady came by. I used to have a store in my house. We have an add-on room, and this store I sell herbs, you know, stuff, alternative religion supplies. Let's just put it that way. So I have like sage bundles and stuff like that. Well, this lady came by and she said, hey, I need to sage my house. Hey, Rue! Hey, Rue, you totally should. The more the merrier, you know? So anyway, she leaves this box full of the most gorgeous fillings, shiny curling ribbon and stuff like that, and a little egg, a shell that had been hollowed out and decorated and colored. And she says, she put a little note in there that said, "Thank you for doing what you did for me. Please enjoy this gift," or something to that effect. And it made me cry because I was just like, who does that? Who? That was so sweet. Anyway, so I put my pencil shavings in it so I can look at it every day because it's just this gorgeous little box and solid metal. Anyway, enough about that. I'm going to sharpen this real quick. And I don't sharpen it a lot. I just sharpen it to a point, and then that's all. So anyway, what I'm doing is I'm just going over, starting with my light pressure. And you can sort of see the line here. Now that's the vein line right there. So and the light is coming from over here. So what we're going to do is this is going to be naturally darker here. This part is going to be lighter. So I'm just going to shade, and I'm going to bring down my gradient kind of like this. So back here is going to be darker. And you don't have to put every vein in. You can just make a suggestion, like a darker line. And I was going to show you how to do that in just a second. But so you've got this gradient. Okay, real gently. Kind of like that. And then my medium green, if I can find it, because my table is in chaos right now. I'm putting the medium green, which is grass green, so it's bright, right here. And then blending it back into the darker green, and I'm covering that darker green with a little thin layer. And a lot of people don't realize that, sorry, that noise was the back door. Don't worry about it. It's no big deal. We have a sliding glass door that the wheels grind. It's kind of sad. But anyway, what was I going to say? I'm old. So I'm covering this whole thing with the brighter green. And I'm making it so, oh, I know what I was going to say. Making it so that it incorporates both greens, both the dark and the brighter. And then I've got my lightest green that I'm using, not my highlight. My highlight is a different color. But my lightest green is going to go right next to that line and then blend back also. Now, a lot of people, what you don't realize, and what this camera doesn't show very well, is that these leaves are really, really bright. Colors in nature are really bright. And a lot of people are afraid to put that much brightness in their colorings because maybe they think that it's too much bright, or it's too saturated a color, maybe it's too warm, or it's just, you know, the wrong color. But I encourage you, go bright, because if you're going bright, what you use for a shadow is going to make that bright look brighter. And especially if it's in bright sunlight, you want it to look bright. I mean, look at a daisy, man. Look at a yellow daisy. A sunflower is a good example. Sunflowers are so bright yellow, it's almost incomprehensible. I mean, you think about it and you go to color it or paint it and you just look at it, and a lot of colors, you know, colorings or paintings look kind of dingy. Go bright. And then two, in nature, there's really no such thing as black. You can use black to emphasize. It'll help your highlights pop, but there's really no such thing as black in nature, except for like in Merrimack Caverns when they turn off all the lights. It's the absence of light in nature, not in light mixing. Well, light mixing, it would be the absence of light too, but we're not talking about that. So in nature, you want to do shadows that are purple and blue, and the purple shadows are going to make the complementary shades pop. and the blue shadows are going to make its complementary shade pop. And I encourage you to look up a color wheel and find out what those complementary shades are, because if you look it up, you'll remember it better. But anyway, so you want to make your shadows, for example, this picture, my shadows would have a blue tint to them because this is in daylight, in bright sunlight, and the sky was blue. So what I've got for my shadows is I've got this cold gray dark, and it has a blue base. So that's what I'm using for this, for example, these, and I'm taking some liberties with my picture because even though this wasn't solid in the photograph, there's some little detail back there. I didn't want to put all of that detail in there because your eye needs a place to rest. If you put in too much detail, your eye doesn't get a chance to rest. Let's see, what do I got here? Yeah, you know what, Bunny? A lot of people do, and there are some brownish sunflowers, or reddish, absolutely gorgeous flowers, but still, those colors in those flowers are just so saturated. They're deep, rich colors. And that's one of the secrets of the masters, you know. They had deep, rich colors they weren't afraid to use. Look at Vermeer, man. Vermeer, he used such bright colors in places that some people who don't have the advantage of a formal art education might look at and go, you know, I never realized that a bright color like that would work well in something like this. But they do. They really do. So be adventurous. Be brave with your colors. Go bright. Go dark. So these colors here, this little shade shadow thingy here, this is a preliminary. This is not going to be this light when I'm done. It's going to be darker. I'm probably going to go over a lot of these darker shadow areas and darken them up even more, because it'll help make my bright green leaves pop even brighter. And that's one of the little secrets of having a more realistic picture. Now, if you're doing something like a Hannah Lynn picture that's obviously not a realistic picture, you know, more power to you. I love those pictures. I don't think I've seen a bad one yet. And I appreciate the talent that goes into anything like that. But they're not realistic, and the colors in them, you can go anywhere. You can make your fox purple instead of red and white, you know, orange and white. Nobody cares. Do what you want to do with your coloring book, with your coloring page. It's yours. As everybody keeps saying, do it. But if you're doing realistic, there are certain logical, not rules, but guidelines that you kind of want to follow in order to make them realistic. So if you heard that noise, that was my phone buzzing. I've got it on vibrate. What fun, huh? And I don't know what's going on with that, but I'm not going to answer it right now because I'm having too much fun. Anyway, time's getting away from me, and I don't want to step on any toes. And since this was an impromptu, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sign off here in just a few minutes. I want to thank you guys all. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for all your thumbs up and everything. And please, if you have any suggestions, let me know. I would be happy to explore things with you. I totally believe in always being a student. Be a teacher, but also be a student. Learn together, just like Laura's doing, just like everybody, just like Vicky and Pat and everybody that I watch and that is teaching you as they're learning. That's the whole deal, man. It's not about the destination. There should be no destination. It's about your journey. And in this case, it's an art/coloring journey, which is so worth it. So worth it. So, thank you, Bunny. Hey, you know what? Art has been my life, my whole life, literally. So, and it's not just art. It overflows into everything. in my jewelry, in my whatever I'm doing. Even if I'm just making, like, I do pyrography, which is wood burning. I do a little bit of leather working. I make little leather journals. I've been known to sew a little bit, make little craft items. Oh, sun catchers, pendulums. If you look in my store online at redravenscauldron.com, I've got like tons of stuff, and most of it's handmade, and most of it's made by me. Some of it's made by my husband. In fact, my husband makes leather goods, and he's very, very good at it. I'm going to move this real quick. He makes things like this. This is a belt pouch, and it's made out of suede leather. Little details on this are amazing. This looks like a snakeskin pattern. It's dark red. But yeah, he does all this by hand. He sets the snaps by hand, cuts it by hand. You could put a, let's see, you could put a cell phone, pack of cigarettes, a wallet, all kinds of stuff in there. Put it on your belt for Ren Fair. You could put it on a sash. Snap it back shut, you know. But he makes stuff like this. He's very, very good at it. He just made a belt with a pouch built into it, just out of the blue. I don't even think he had a pattern or a template. He's super creative when it comes to leather stuff. But anyway, some of that's in my online store too. And I will, when I get done with the video, I'll provide a link with that too. So, but anyway, yeah, you know, we're creative around here. We just go to town. But you should see our storage room. You talk about a pile of stuff. Oh my God. Let's not go there. Yeah. So, okay. Oh, thank you, Mary. You know, I am so happy that I'm streaming too. I've been wanting to do this for a really, really long time, and I just didn't have the stuff to do it. And even though there's like a 3 or 4 second delay on what I'm seeing in chat, and I'm not ignoring anyone, I swear. It's just that's how long it takes me to get to it because of the system. So keep them coming. Keep your comments coming, and remember, you know, you got something you want me to do, something you want to see on my streams, you let me know. I'm gonna try and set up a regular time. Health permitting, I will keep that schedule. And yeah, I'm still having some health issues because I'm still recuperating from chemotherapy and radiation treatments, which were several months ago. But boy, they destroy your body. Oh my God. If y'all know anybody who's going through radiation or chemotherapy, treat them with kindness, because holy crap, you guys. They may not say it, but they're going through hell. So, yeah. But anyway, enough of that. Let's see. Okay, Mary, thank you for showing up, lady. I appreciate it. Flowers to ya. Okay, and I'm going to sign off. I said I was going to, but I'm really going to sign off now. And thank you guys for showing up. I will have something prepared. Send me notes. And I thank you so much. You guys have been awesome. Peace, love, and polychrome dreams. And remember, it's not about the destination. It's about that journey. Thanks. Thanks so much. I'll see you soon. Now I got to figure out which button to click.